Good afternoon and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 291, and I'm continuing the story of Jullanar of the Sea from 1001 Arabian Nights. Now finally, after a whole year had passed, Jullanar finally speaks to the king of Persia and tells him that she is bearing his child. Now this was a double boon for the king. One, he had hoped, beyond all hopes, that she would bear him a son, though she didn't know whether she was bearing a son or a daughter. And also, he had hoped beyond all hopes that she could speak. And indeed she could. The conversation, as it unfolded now, the king discovered that Jullanar felt like she was a foreigner and a captive. And he said that how could this be when he had given her basically his entire kingdom and was, as he put it, her slave. Well, she said that she had not ever felt that way, and that she had a father who, well, was no longer with her, no longer on this earth, but she had a mother and a brother, uncles, aunts, nieces and nephews, an entire family that she missed. We said, if you have a family, bring them. I would love to meet them and to know them. She told him that the time of her birth, of birthing her child, was close at hand, and wished that her mother and her brother and her uncle's daughters could be there. Because she said, I am a daughter of the sea, and no one here upon the land can help me with my delivery, but those who are from where I live. She described to him that her father had been a great sea king, and that when he had died, he had left the kingdom to his wife, Jullanar's mother, Jullanar's brother, Sayi, and to her. But another sea king had come up and defeated them and taken their kingdom from them. She was a daughter of a king, and she wanted him to know this. Now, when she had said, basically requested that her mother and her uncle's daughters and her brother come, the king had been delighted and said, please, please, bring them here, for I would love to meet them. Jullanar had been in, well, an awkward position. She wasn't of the land. She was a foreigner to the land. Her heart was with her family and the other people that she had lived with her entire life. People of the sea. She described to the king how there were people of all descriptions that lived in the sea, and creatures of all descriptions as well, more so even than what inhabited the land. And he had asked, how is it possible that people can live within the sea and survive? How can they breathe, and why don't they sink? She said that it was something about the ring of Solomon and what had been inscribed on it that allowed them to live the way they live, allowed them to be beneath the surface of the waters as if the same as on dry land, to breathe normally, to get around in the same sort of way, but of course to be different as well. They had been in a way anointed, so to speak, to live in that way. curiosity, the king, his curiosity was so aroused by hearing about Jullanar's life. What a difference it was. How different indeed. He, of course, asked Jullanar to summon her family to her, and so she said she would. She went to her quarters and she came back with a box that was made of an exotic wood. She opened this box. From within it, she took out a bead that was made of the same type of wood. And this bead she threw into the fire that was burning there in the room, in the hearth, the room where they were. And when she threw this bead into the fire, there was a burst fire and then a cloud of smoke. And as this cloud of smoke rose, she enchanted it with some words that the king could not understand. And then she said to him, "They are coming. Quickly, hide within the closet and see them from there. Then you will know. You will know my mother and my brother and my uncle's daughters for who they are." So the king quickly ran and hid himself in a closet that was there. And no sooner really had he done this when in through the window, flying in through the window, came a handsome, beautiful young man who was in appearance similar to Jullanar, an old gray-haired woman who he assumed was Jullanar's mother, and 5 priceless and beautiful young maidens, and captivating in the same way that Jullanar was. Well, when all had assembled, the gathering immediately brought tears to everyone's eyes. The king remained hidden in the closet, and soon words he did not understand began to be spoken. And we'll leave the story there, find out perhaps what was the conversation. Okay, thanks for joining. Come back tomorrow to hear more and have a good rest of your day.